The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development set the vision for 15 years of global action. It encompasses the unfinished business of the Millennium Development Goals. It is a universal, integrated and human rights-based agenda for sustainable development. It balances economic growth, social justice and environmental stewardship and underlines the links between peace, development and human rights.
The SDGs were adopted by the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit in September 2015.
In order for the SDGs to be fully successful, the role of local authorities in the implementation is critical. Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe, attaches great importance to the implementation of the 2030 Agenda.
The city's 12 core functions are well aligned to the 3 pillars of sustainability, which are economic, environmental, and social. The 12 core functions are
to provide potable water and wastewater management,
to provide trafficable roads,
to provide an efficient and effective public transport system,
to provide an efficient and effective solid waste management system,
to provide decent and affordable accommodation,
to provide comprehensive and accessible health services,
to provide comprehensive and accessible social services,
to provide efficient public safety and emergency services,
to promote sound local governance,
to promote sound environmental management systems,
to provide coordinated and orderly spatial development,
to mobilize and ensure efficient utilization of resources.
At the same time, the city's 6 key result areas are also all integrated into the SDGs. These are
governance and administration,
water,
sanitation and hygiene,
roads,
social services,
public health and security services,
and natural resources and conservative management.
SDGs provide a roadmap for more balanced and equitable urban development. Sustainable development is consistent with the city's vision of becoming a world-class city by 2025. The city of Harare implements the relevant sustainable development goals through the strategic plan, which is reviewed on an annual basis. The strategic plan is funded through the budget.
City of Harare has committed itself to implementing the SDGs with an emphasis on SDGs 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 11. This will enable Harare to achieve greater development outcomes considering the situation on the ground.
Other SDGs are also given priority, though the main focus is on the aforementioned goals. Mainstreaming SDGs into the city's development plans and budgets ensures their implementation. City of Harare Town Clerk Engineer Osaya Chisango explains more on the city's approach in the implementation of sustainable development goals.
We are all aware that many national governments have committed to the 2030 Agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals. The major ones that affect us directly, we're looking at Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which looks at good health and well-being. Number 4, which looks at quality education. Number 5, which is gender equality. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. That's a major issue for the city of Harare. Then number 11, which is sustainable cities and communities. We also want to build ourselves into a sustainable city. We're also looking at number 7, which is affordable and clean energy, seeing that we've got power issues in our country. So what we're trying to do is to go solar for our lights, for also powering some of our installations like our district office, starting with our district offices and other halls that we have, so that we take them off the grid.
Accessibility to health services by the residents of the city of Harare. So on that line, we have said we want to have a health facility within 2 kilometers of any individual in any suburb. We want to be constructing clinics around the suburbs, satellite clinics, family health service centers, enhanced polyclinics, where all the services that one would require in the communities will be provided.
The journey began in 2016, and several milestones have been realized by the city in the implementation of sustainable development goals.
For example, if you look at availability of medicines, we started the year at 63%, and we managed to attain 70%, and then we want to move now from that to the 83% that I was talking about earlier. So in terms of that, there was an improvement. We had targeted to increase our clinical attendance to 1.2 million. It ended up at over 900,000, but there was also a movement in terms of that. We also managed to bring on board a clinic that was built and completely finished. We managed to maintain water supplies flowing. 50% of the population continued to get water, because then alternating supplies, so that within the week you would get water coming through 3 days a week. For the rest part, for the high density areas where there are more people, we maintained the supplies at 5 days a week. We are also carrying out a lot of rehabilitation works at the treatment works, and also in the infrastructure, the water conveyance infrastructure. And then on refuse collection, we have our numbers at 68%. The shortages of fuel, they militated against us, but we've had movements, and many times we had to do blitzes to remove illegal dumps that would have accumulated in the areas. Funding has been provided in there, and we're also mobilizing our own funds to make sure that most of our assets are up. We reduce the downtime of our assets. We are then able to stick to a schedule.
The successful implementation of Agenda 2030 requires an integrated approach, partnerships and participation through inclusive political processes and responsive, effective, accountable institutions. In the spirit of leaving no one behind, the city has developed a progressive stakeholder policy to provide a platform for smart partnerships.
We've had Higher Life that has come in. They funded us from 2018 to the tune of 10 million United States dollars. Here it was a replacement of sewer pipes and also assisting in the repair of equipment. We've had GIZ. We are working with them now in one of our suburbs, Glenview, where we're restoring the infrastructure, the water infrastructure, the replacement of valves, meters, and also pipe replacement for that particular area. We have got Defeatance Evidence, which has come to assist us in the water strategy itself, and they have also funded some infrastructure works, and we are working with those. UNICEF is also one of the partners that we have in that space. So I expect to work with more of these partners in terms of capacity building and also the funding of infrastructure. The African Development Bank mobilized and managed the multi-donor trust fund that was put up for Harare, and there sewage pumps were done, sewer networks, even work on the treatment works. The cleanup campaigns, the monthly cleanup campaign commissioned by His Excellency the President. We are a partner in that. We participate every first Friday of the month together with the nation, and we have also a lot of partners that always come to join us on that particular day.
Getting more women into leadership positions at all levels is a top priority in terms of empowering women as a goal in its own right. Female executives in local government can challenge gender stereotypes and set an example to young girls.
We endeavor to mainstream gender equality across all areas of work in order to tackle the multiple barriers to women's empowerment. Efforts have been made in mainstreaming gender in our programs. Though we have not fared well, we'll ensure that women are given opportunities on the leadership front.
The increase in the urban population and the rising informal sector has led to several challenges, including rising incidence of urban poverty, inadequate housing and provision of services, and environmental degradation and pollution.
When we look at the SDG number 6, the clean water and sanitation, the main challenges that we have faced with the climate change and variability, but we had not so good rains the previous season, and that led to very low dam levels poor raw water quality, and then that coupled with the cost of water treatment chemicals, it posed a major challenge for the city in terms of the deliverance of that service. When we talk of refuse collection, it's mainly assets, these vehicles that have got to be fueled, and when that is not there, then you have those issues. Issues of foreign exchange shortages, was most of the treatment chemicals that we use, most of the spares that we need, they are imported, and that the prices have been rising against a stagnant income.
One of the key issues is how the city is funding the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. The predominant focus is on water, sanitation and hygiene.
The key areas on WASH are to reduce water losses through strategic pipe replacement in areas of greatest impact. In order to alleviate the water challenges facing the residents of Harare, we are also proposing to procure mobile water treatment plants. Engineer Chisango explains the funding model for the implementation of the SDGs.
Sources of funds that we are targeting there is what we call the revenue contribution to capital. From the revenue that we collect, we say a certain amount should fund capital projects. Then the international grants that we're also aiming to get of about 20 million that we are working with partners, African Development Bank and other partners to mobilize. Then there's the intergovernmental funds transfer, the devolution funds to capacitate the various provinces, various local authorities. We also expect PPPs, some of them to just kick in modest figures of 2 million that we expect. Donations, they've been coming our way. These various partners that give us grants, and we are hoping we are expecting 2 million again on those ones for donations. Joint ventures, another 2 million, and then for loans, infrastructure loans that we expect to get, we are targeting 45 million in infrastructure loans. It may be more as we go through the year, also depending on our capacity to repay.
City of Harare is committed to contribute a new global partnership with international institutions, national governments, civil society and the private sector. We will continue to use global platforms to highlight the potential of local action, to drive development and to call for appropriate financial frameworks to support all the local governments in playing our part in the achievement of this ambitious, integrated and universal agenda.
We also aim to work towards closer collaboration and partnerships with the private sector, development partners, the diaspora, philanthropic organizations and civil society stakeholders to develop innovative financing mechanisms and service delivery models that balance the social, economic and environmental dimensions of sustainable development.
City of Harare, leaving no one behind.